Welcome back to the last two levels of Now in Repton Thru Time. Here we start off with a traffic warden on our head. Now there's a couple of ways you could deal with this. You could lead him up around and kill him off with that briefcase, or you could leave him in here for the fungus to deal with. But we're going to use a little glitchy method, which I discovered quite by accident. You lead him down here and keep your eye on the traffic warden. Now, there he's there. Now you see him, now you don't. Okay, now we've got to wait for this before we go into this transporter. And we've got to get in there at the precise time. There's no room for error here because we're immediately followed by these other papers which are coming around this side. We can grab our card from there. And then when we come around here, we finish off the loop, so those papers are just going around that area open at the top. Now we carve out a little pathway here, and we need to wait for these papers to come by so we can come through here and get the briefcases from over here to link up the bins at the bottom. And of course, going backwards and forwards, we're halted in our progress by these papers, which always go backwards and forwards. Now we could push the briefcase down whilst the papers are going around, but sometimes that does end up with one of the papers coming back towards our position, and obviously that's not very helpful. Of course, as time goes on, we're taking a longer time in that top area, and yes, I pushed that a little too far. Yeah, we're spending a longer time in the top area, so that, and in this bottom area, so that maybe we'll get into the space between these papers just by doing what we need to do. Yeah, we didn't have to wait so long at that point. Trying to connect up all these bins at the same time. The one you see is already linked to the outside on the left there. You have to go more and more of a distance to get to the briefcases now. Okay, that's linked up a good majority of the bins to the outside, but we still got a few more over here. You can also see when we're getting rid of these briefcases, there's still that traffic warden there, which we'll have to deal with later on. So we nudge that's not the right way. Nudge that way, so that links up there. And then there's one more briefcase to fetch. Which is good since we're kind of running out of briefcases up there. We pop that over there, and so they're all kind of linked up. Repton being a bit daring there, but we've got to get these connected to the outside. So this is one way to do it. And now we've got to get these connected to the outside, and it's a little more trickier. First we've got to navigate around this gun maze again. But this time we can pick up the ones that were left around. And now we've got to get this briefcase down into a position where it'll make these papers come around. But then we're kind of stuck in this middle area. Actually, I was just seeing that there is a space in the middle which I could have stood in and not got in the way of any of those papers. But hey, that looks more dramatic, I'll keep that in. Plus, I'm not doing this level again, it was a bit of a difficult one. So now all those papers are going to go to where they need to. We have to pick our way very carefully once again down here because that's where our car is. And yes, just remembered, there's that traffic warden, and there he is no more. So there we go, the last paper entering the bin there. And of course, we're not quite done down here because there's a traffic warden here too. But since we dropped all these briefcases down, we've got something available to hand. So now the time bomb is actually at the bottom of this area here, but it's not quite as difficult to get to as the car was, and we're not going to end up blocking too much off because you can see there's quite a lot of dirt around here. And we can arrange things in such a way that these briefcases aren't going to fall all the way down. In fact, we don't really need to nudge too many of these briefcases from the position they started in. There we go, all finished now. Okay, now this level, it's quite interesting because there's two versions. There's the one that came on the disc and there's the one that came on the tape. I'm playing the one that came on the disc. Why is that important, I hear you say? Well, for some reason, the disc version, well, on the disc version, the timer runs down faster than it does on the tape version. Obviously, the tape version is the one which the designers of the levels used because of, well, you're going to see, we need the time to get around this level, and you can see time's running out. And we get down here, and we die because we run out of time. Now, there is a method to do this. I was warned of this problem beforehand, so I did know it was going to happen. I was warned by some of my YouTube commenters. I think it was Sentinel Proxima and Repton Geek, and I reminded them there that there's this skull glitch. Skull glitch, I hear you ask? What's that? Well, we're transporting to this area, and you can see there's also a credit card in here, so we could cheat. But the skull glitch, you walk onto the skull, you go to the status screen here, and then you get out, you unpause, and you die. But once you come back, the skull has vanished, which is actually quite useful in this situation, makes this actual possibly to do on a proper BBC, where otherwise it wouldn't have been. So we only had a little distance to go to get to these time capsules here, and I didn't collect the credit card from the top because I want to show you how this is properly supposed to be done once you come into here. See a traffic warden sitting behind a bin there, so we need to find some way to get him off that little platform to dispose of him. So you grab the key from down here, and we want to waste a little time because, as you saw, we don't have a lot of time left. So we grab this Coke can at the pretty much last moment, and then make the way for the papers to come through here. Very quickly evade that paper coming past, and so then we can drop this traffic warden off, lure him up here, and then get him behind this briefcase to finish him off. And there we go with the level as time's running out. You can see an area down there with a transporter in it, and that's where this transporter down here leads you to. So there we go, finished with the now levels, and next time I'll see you when Repton visits the future. See you then.